Hello everyone and welcome back to another Star Wars figure review. Today we're going to take a look at some more Black Series 6-inch figures, once again from Star Wars The Last Jedi. And in today's review we are going to take a look at none other than Professor Snape. I'm sorry, I mean Kylo Ren, but you can understand the confusion. Despite some glaring similarities to a certain Harry Potter character, this particular figure of Kylo Ren is probably one of my personal favourites. I'm not sure whether I like it a whole lot more than the Celebration Europe 2016 exclusive that featured obviously all the additional accessories, but I think in terms of overall appearance, this version of Kylo Ren is my favourite so far, and I cannot wait to see Kylo's new and improved look in action in the new film when it comes out in December. This figure is very cool as well, and we're going to take a look at him in a little bit more detail in just a little bit, but before we do, as always, let's get a look at the packaging that he comes in. Now again, I'm not going to spend too much time talking about the packaging itself. I've made my feelings known about it in previous reviews, but Hasbro, if you're watching, please update this. It's time for something new, it's time for something fresh, and this just isn't doing it for me at the moment. The only redeeming feature of the current Black Series packaging design is the artwork down in the bottom corner by Gregory Titus, which in my opinion just gets better and better with each and every release. As you can see, this image of Kylo Ren looks superb. I absolutely love the finish on that. But with regards to the rest of the packaging itself, it's just what we've come to expect since I think the Force Awakens line debuted back in 2015. So it's definitely time for something new. You've got the Black Series logo featured at the top, the artwork I touched base on down in the bottom corner, and the character name just opposite that. On the side of the box you've got the number in the series, and then on the back you've got the number, the Black Series logo once again, enlarged artwork there, and a description of the character. So there we go, that is the box that Kylo Ren comes in. Now let's take a look at the figure itself. Now, as I said, this has definitely got to be one of my favourite versions of Kylo Ren so far. I was a big fan of the 3 3/4 inch release, but there was just something about that figure that was just a little bit, I don't know, it just made me pick it up and go, yeah, it's just a Kylo Ren in a different costume. Whereas with this figure, it really gives you a much better appreciation of the new outfit that Kylo's wearing. The detail obviously is enhanced tenfold, and the figure itself is just really nice. And again, it really makes me excited to see how Kylo appears in the new film. Now I'll touch base on accessories before anything else, and then we'll talk about the articulation and the overall detail that this figure features. So he does come, as you can see, with his trademark crossguard lightsaber, which appears to be the same version that's been included with previous versions of Kylo Ren. The blade on this one is a little bit darker, and the flames appear to be slightly more exaggerated on this one. They're not as subtle as they've been on previous releases, but I think for the most part it's the same sculpt, at least in terms of the hilt. Now, with regards to the hilt itself, there is, like with the Force Awakens version, an unlit hilt included with the figure that can be attached to the belt. I'll give you a closer look at that in just a moment. And of course, he does come with this brand new cape, which looks very nice. It is plastic, and it's a little bit softer than the plastic used on figures such as Captain Phasma and Director Krennic. So you get this really nice, natural, free-flowing look to the cape itself, and it sits on the shoulders of the figure really nicely. And in many ways it makes me wish that the robe included with Jedi Master Luke from the 6-inch line was made of plastic, just so we got this more natural look instead of the big billowy, blowy thing that we got with that figure. But again, beggars can't be choosers. The cape itself can be removed. It simply sits on the figure's shoulders and looks very cool doing so. As you can see, at one side it drapes over the arm, so it makes Kylo look very medieval in terms of appearance, which I really like. And the cape, as I mentioned, just slides off the shoulder like so, and that gives you a much better look and appreciation of the costume underneath. Now, as I mentioned, the figure does come with an unlit lightsaber hilt, which has fallen off, but it just plugs into the belt like so. Similar sort of concept to previous Kylo Ren figures, where you've got this sort of little bar on the side of the hilt and it just plugs into this socket on the belt. It's not a very tight fit, and it does tend to fall out with the slightest little tickle, so do be careful with that. I've lost that a few times in the run up to this review. As you can see, the costume itself that Kylo is wearing is sort of a variation on his outfit from The Force Awakens, in the sense that from the waist up it's pretty much the same, but from the waist down it's a shortened version of the robes that he wore in the previous film, and in many ways it's sort of a throwback to Anakin Skywalker. So he's definitely delving into the family wardrobe when it comes to his appearance in The Last Jedi. You'll notice some similarities as well with Kylo's new costume to concept art from Revenge of the Sith for Anakin himself, so it's really nice to see some of that inspiration has been drawn into for the new look of this character. Now, with regards to the character itself, obviously he is sporting a brand new scar, which you can get a look at on the face once the camera decides to focus in on there. The scar is a little bit more subtle on the 6-inch release of Kylo. Obviously with the 3 3/4-inch version it was painted and sculpted into the head. However, with this one it's just sculpted, sort of engraved into the figure's face. It looks very cool there, but it's not immediately as noticeable as it was with the 3 3/4-inch version. The head sculpt itself is brand new. It's a decent likeness to Adam Driver, not 100% on the money, but I'll take it. As you can see, his hair is a little bit less billowy and a little bit less conditioned than it was in The Force Awakens. When he removed the helmet during the interrogation scene with Rey, the hair was just perfect. It was all in place. It was as though he'd just come out of the salon, whereas this time around he's looking a little bit more, dare I say it, emo, and a little bit more as though he just doesn't care at the moment. He's just out there gunning for Rey and the Resistance. He's just letting his hair down. But the sculpt itself is very nice. As you can see, some great detail going on there. Damn camera doesn't want to focus. There we go. Some great detail on the figure itself. Articulation is absolutely top notch as always with the 6-inch line. Got a ball joint and a hinge at the neck, so you can look up, down, all around. Hinges at the shoulders, elbows and wrists. We've got a nice fluid ball joint at the torso. Ball hinges at the hips, although there doesn't appear to be a split in the lower tunic, which prohibits a little bit of articulation there. So you don't get a really wide stance in the lower body, which is a bit of a shame, but nothing too major. Got swivels at the upper thigh, double joints in the knees, and a hinge and a rocker, as always, at the ankle. So you can get him in some decent poses. Again, I'm really looking forward to seeing what kind of action Kylo Ren will see in The Last Jedi, whether he'll go toe-to-toe with Rey again, whether he'll face off with Luke Skywalker, or plot twist, maybe it faces off with Supreme Leader Snoke and some of the Praetorian Guards. Who knows, we'll see. I'm really looking forward to the movie, can't wait till it comes out, and I definitely recommend this figure. Really nice warm-up to the film's release, definitely gets the juices flowing. So as always, if you want to pick this guy up for yourself, you can do so via the link in the video description. Solid cases of Kylo Ren from The Last Jedi appear to be showing up at retail, and I've seen an absolute ton of these hanging on store pegs in my local Toys R Us. So he doesn't seem to be in demand just yet, but he's a very cool character, and if you're a fan of him and you're a fan of the films, then I'd definitely recommend picking this one up and adding it to your collection. So hit that link, guys. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed having a look at this figure. I'll be back with some more reviews very soon. Got some really cool figures from some of the later waves to give you a look at, such as General Leia, Maz Kanata, and others. I'm going to take a look at some exclusives as well, so make sure you stay tuned for all of those, plus many, many more. So in contrast to the dark, we're going to take a look at the light side in my next review. Stay tuned for that, and until next time, as always, keep collecting, and may the Force be with you.